So, yeah, so Friday was a little bit disappointing, actually. So, I kind of had plans to, like, hang out with a few people around London, just, like, doing shit. And I'd kind of been looking forward to this weekend for a while. So, Mim cancels. So, I ended up hanging out with Raze and Scaff IRL. Now, I hung out with Scaff like an hour in the kitchen, just chatting with him. It's like, it all seems cool. Feels good, man. Feels good, man, yeah. And, this isn't a Mortem Morsu build. I'm just using it to level my Spark character. This is just a leveling build, Tornado. But yes. So, I'm hanging out with Raze. He's chilling with his grill. Him and his grill, like, they're like a boring couple, man. They're a boring fucking couple. And, basically, this is what happens, right? So I go around, I'm chilling, and his Guff's there. His Guff's nearly always at work, so like, it's the first time I've like met his Guff in like a year. They've been together for 3 years. I've met her like 3 times, right? She's always working. She was off work early, so I'm like, oh, brilliant. She's alright, like she's chill. She's chill. So, you know, I'm hanging out with him and his Guff, and it's, you know, it's alright. Like, as anyone knows, when you're hanging out with someone and they go off, it's often a bit like Resident Sleeper, you know? So I ended up hanging out with Raze and Scaff. And then Mim. The deserter. Fucking whore. Hey, Mim. But yeah, so I ended up hanging out with him and his girlfriend. That was kind of whatever. And then meet up with Dog Squad. Go fucking walk the dog, all that dumb shit. So I kind of spent like all of Friday walking. And oh fuck, okay. So, hang out with the Gurf, it's what, like, my mate's Gurf, it's alright, whatever. Go walk the dog, they've got, like, a bunch of people they meet up at the park every day at 4 PM. They're boring. They're fucking boring. And that's kind of chill. So I do all of that. And then I, go and stop by my grandmother's place, because she lives near where they live. And she was going on a holiday on the Sunday, and I hadn't seen her for a few weeks. So I'm like, I'll be a good grandson, I'll come say hello to my grandmother. I haven't seen you in a while. So I stopped by there. And my uncle is staying with my grandmother, and he's not very well at the moment. I won't go into details, but he's not very well at the moment. He was staying over there. And as soon as I got in, my nan was out. And her partner's like, oh, Tarke, do you mind helping me drop the cars off at the garage? Because obviously they're going away. My nan's partner is like a massive motorhead. He's got like 5 or 6 motorcycles. They've got some old cars and shit. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever, right? So we go up to the garage, move around all his bikes and shit, lock it all up. It's all cool. It's just like some, like, literally just like a random garage in an apartment block, like 20 minutes away from where they live. So we go do all that. Just sort the motorbikes, that's all chilling. And then obviously we have to walk back because we've dropped off all the vehicles in the garage because they're going on holiday the next day, or 2 days later, whatever. So we walk back, right? And again, I've spent all fucking day walking. I walked to my mate's place, walked around the park 50 fucking times with the dog, walked to my nan's, end up fucking dealing with a bunch of motors, moving bikes around, walk back from there. So I'm pretty fucking tired. So I get in. Within a minute of getting in, my nan is still out. My uncle comes down, so it's like, yo, Tarke, let's go for a walk, man. We haven't spoken in years. I'm like, for fuck's sake. And my uncle's got in the habit of, like, he goes to the park to feed the ducks. I'm like, dude, it's really cold. I've been walking all day. I've just come back from the fucking garage. Do we have to? He looks at me like, don't be a cunt. We never talk to each other. Come, let's. So I'm like, alright, Julia, so you know, fucking out again. I haven't got a coat or anything, right? I'm just like, I'm just in a shirt. I'm like, it's like, do you want a scarf? Like, yeah, I can have a scarf. So I'm out and I've got a scarf and I've upgraded. I'm slightly less cold. Again, back to the fucking park. We get to the park. He's feeding the ducks. It's all chilling. We're chatting like random shit. You know when you've got like an uncle who just like, so you see any girls at the moment? It's one of those boring kind of conversations, right? So we're talking like stupid shit, right? And we're chilling. And there's like a racetrack on this park where you can hire out. And a dude's shouting, I was like, dude, help. He'd rented out the racetrack for training. And it's like 7 PM or some shit, right? And he's like, dude, the fucking, gameskeeper, what's it called? The dude who looks after the groundskeeper. The groundskeeper's fucking locked me in. Do you mind getting him to let me in? Splorkius, great name, great subscription. I like your choice of Twitch Prime. You, my friend, are a friend. Thank you. So my uncle's looking at me like, Well, you're gonna go get the fucking groundsman then? I'm like, where's this park? Oh, it's on the other side of the park. So I've got to walk across the fucking park again. I get the groundsman, explain what's happened, walk all the way back. So we're chilling. I've done another fucking lap of this park. Groundsman comes, lets the dude out of the racetrack. He's like, thank you, whatever. Do one more lap. My uncle finishes feeding the ducks. We walk back to my nan's place, right? Get back to my nan's place. My nan's there, and she's like, yo, so do you want to stay for dinner? I'm like, well, I can't really eat at the moment. She's like, oh, well, I'm really hungry and I'm quite tired, so if you're not going to stay for dinner, I don't mind dropping you back off home. But, you know, I'm pretty tired. So I'm like, all right, cheers, man. Right. So she's been in for like 5 minutes. I basically said hello. She drops me off and she fucks off. I'm just like, all right, well, I'm glad I made the effort to be a good grandson and say hello. But, like, I don't know, it's all right. I got to hang out, like, help with the garage and shit, see my uncle. So it was like, whatever. But it was kind of like a, dude, come on. But anyway, so whatever. So, that was my Friday. Saturday, which was yesterday, I'm dead. My leg's dead. I'm just like worn the fuck out. Now, for a normal human being, someone who like regularly leaves the house and does things, that would have been kind of tiring because I did a lot of walking, and it was cold. And I wasn't dressed for the weather, so like, you know, when the cold like gets in your bones, it was one of them sort of thing, right? It was one of them sort of vibes. So it's whatever. So I'm like, Saturday, I'm just like, I'm aching. I'm feeling sore. But I'm also feeling kind of feel like, at the same time, like, you know, I had plans for this weekend, you know? I had plans. I had ambitions. I had goals. Yeah, this is Morton Musu leveling. This is going to be Voltaxic Sparkly. This is just for leveling. So I'm feeling kind of bad about it. And Simon's texting me, right? Simon's like, yo, Tarke, my boy. Do you want to do something in London today? And I'm like, bruh. I'm like, where are you at? He's like, Baker Street. And I look up, it would take me like an hour and a half to get there. And I'm feeling dead. And I'm just like, dude, I'm really sorry. But like, I'm just really not feeling up to it today. Could you come down my neck of the woods? And he's like, to be honest, I haven't really got the time. Because he's like down for business. So he's like scheduling people in between stuff. He's like, haven't really got the time to be honest, Tarke. We can do something on Sunday if you're not feeling up to it. I'm like, cheers, Simon. Cheers to that. So Saturday's me just like in bed, kicking back. And I started watching some shitty shows on Netflix. I started watching 12 Monkeys. 12 Monkeys is a very good film. And they did a sci-fi adaptation. I didn't know about this. I'm like, oh, well, I like the film. Maybe I like the sci-fi adaptation. It's fucking wavy, my friend. I don't know if there's more than one season. But it's one of those shows where like it starts on a decent premise. It's trashy, but it's like decent enough that you get into it. It ends and nothing has happened. And you're just like, there better be a second fucking series of this, because nothing has fucking happened. Nothing has fucking happened in this show, right? Like, literally, it's just like, you've done fuck all. Yeah, it's the Bruce Willis one is the film, George. Bruce Willis film. So that was my Saturday. And in the evening, I feel like, you know, dude, I'm feeling really disappointed, because they're like, I really wanted to do something, and I've ended up just like watching a disappointing sci-fi show. It had me hooked, and I felt betrayed because I got invested in the character, I got invested in the show. I knew it wasn't very good, but I got invested, and then there was no payoff. So there was a lack of catharsis, and it was a perfect summary for my weekend, right? I had such ambitions and hopes for this weekend, which had otherwise been just mostly mediocre. Much like this show, I'd gone into the show with great expectations, and just been left feeling kind of high and dry, I believe in the words radio. Is that Radiohead? High and dry? Anyway. So I'm being profound as per usual Tarke self. I'm feeling a bit maligned. So I'm like, you know what, let's go see a film. I really wanted to go see Logan. And I agree, the daughter was an interesting character for what she was in. I thought, you know what, let's go see Logan. Where's it about? And I see that there's a cinema not too far away from me. It's like a 20-minute bus journey, which had a screening of Logan at 9 PM. So I'm like, fuck it, you know, I really want to see Logan. It's not going to be in cinemas for much longer. I really want to see that film. Let's go chill and see Logan. I do no fucking damage, but anyway. So I head on down, and I'm feeling, you know, a little bit bummed out. But I'm like, oh, whatever. And it's in my old stomping ground of when I was a wee lad. A lot of my mates from school live down there. And so part of me was thinking, you know, I know a few people who work in the area. Maybe I'll bump into someone, and it will turn into a thing. You know, when you just do something spontaneously, like maybe it will turn into something. It was one of those sort of vibes. I was just like, fuck it. Right? So I go see this film. Now, I'm a clever man, as we all know. I'm a highly intellectual, sexual human being. So I plan my shit out perfectly. There is a certain row in the cinema where no one will sit. And I will sit there, because when I watch a film, I like to watch a film. I don't like people talking to me. I don't like people distracting me. When I watch a film, I am fucking immersed in that film. Okay? So I have the perfect seat. No one else is sat near me. All the plebs are elsewhere. I've got a decent line of sight. I'm close enough to the middle. I'm near the front, but not so near the front that it hurts your neck. Basically, if you sit near the front, no one likes sitting there because they don't like being too close to the screen. But there's like a row, which is like the magic row, where it's just close enough that no one wants to sit there because they think it's too close, but it's not actually too close, right? So it's one of them vibes. What arm thing, but anyway, right? It's one of them things. So I'm sat, it's chilling, trailers start chilling, there's no one sat near me. Cinema's pretty empty, and I'm like, I've gotten away with it, boys. And I'm sat, I'm feeling smug about the fact that I've got this perfect seat placement. About 5-10 minutes into the film, this fucking couple who were behind me move and sit next to me. And I wanted to say something like, bitch, please. But at the same time, it's like, Tarke, don't let it annoy you, just sit and enjoy the film. And they moved because they were complaining that the people behind them were loud. Like, they did that thing, they moved. And they were like, oh, those kids behind us were so rude, kind of thing, right? It was one of those kind of vibes, right? They were like, oh, and they did it like, they did it loud enough to make a point. I'm sat on the far end. The whole row is empty. There's one chair next to me where I have my jacket. They sit next to my chair. Like, next to that, right? They could have moved, but they decided to sit right there. The dude smelled. He needed some deodorant. I've got a very weird nose. It's a beautiful nose, but what I mean by that is, like, I actually have a very weird sense of smell. I don't know what caused it, but ever since I started I think it's to do with my Crohn's. Ever since I started one of the medications, I've kind of lost my sense of smell. I can't actually smell that many things except for very particular smells. Does that make sense? It's like, generally speaking, my nose doesn't work, but there are some like really distinct smells which like I can smell. And because I'm not used to smelling things, when I do, it's like really pungent. Something with my sinuses is fucked up, basically. And like BO, like sweat, is just one of those, it just like, it goes straight through me. I'm like, and I'm noticing it. I'm just like, and I'm like, oh, fuck, this isn't gonna be fun. But I'm like, it's fine. Like, you can get used to it. Like, it's not that, it wasn't like really bad, but it was noticeable. It was noticeable. You have the same thing? Yeah, I don't know what caused it, but it was like, it wasn't like really bad. It was basically, it wasn't like he'd been to gym. It was like he'd done a full day's work, right? I think he was on a date or something, and he was a little bit, like, anxious, right? So you could tell, like, it was subtle. And he tried to put some cologne over it to hide it, but all that really did was just make it more noticeable. Because you're like, oh, what's that cologne? You then inhale, and you're just inhaling sweat, right? So it's like, so he's there. And the film's already, like, they move, like, 5 minutes into the film. The film's already started at this point. And I'm trying to concentrate on this film, but at the same time, I'm trying to, like, not gag. And I got used to it. Like, you get used to this. I got used to it after about 10-15 minutes. At this point, the film's actually, like, fucking started. And it's Logan. People are... If you haven't seen Logan, I'm not going to do any spoilers, but it's, like, it's gory. There's, like, fucking blood and shit. The grill, the dude's, like, 30, she's, like, 33. They're both in, like, their 30s, right? And she's like fucking making that noise. And she's not like trying to whisper. I'm just like, and I look, and he looks at me, and there's our eyes meet in like a gatchy way, but there's like I recognized that she was pissing me off, he recognised that I was pissed off, and he sort of looks like, sorry mate, like, he clocked it, right? He clocked that there was like a, bitch, please, like, your girlfriend's being annoying. And she's, oh, what rating is this film? He's like, a 15. And they're not whispering, they're talking. How is this a 50? Why do you want to see this film? And it continued for the entire fucking film. It was an hour and a half. Every 2 fucking minutes.
My mana is gone.
Ugh. Oh, how can people enjoy this? And I'm just like, I'm sat there, like, trying to contain. You know when one of you guys links me a bad build, and I, like, go in on the kid? I wanted to, like, fucking rip this bitch apart. I was like, bruh. And I keep looking over, and he keeps looking back at me like, dude, I'm sorry. But he's still containing the he's maintaining the conversation with her, right? He's looking over apologetically, but while making eye contact with me, he's replying to this girl that he's with, but because he's not facing her, he's having to talk up. So he's trying to be like, oh, it's okay. You know, we'll go see that film next week to make it up for you. But now that he's facing me, he's got to talk a bit louder. And I'm just like... And it was the whole fucking film. And again, I don't want to spoil Logan, but it's not a very good... It's not... You don't see it for the plot, right? You're going to see it for the spectacle. And the problem with, like, these action films is when the plot is a little bit weak and you're going just for the spectacle, you kind of need to be immersed. But when you can't get immersed because every time anything cool happens, you've got someone complaining about it's a bit violent, and can kids do they let 15-year-old kids watch? Oh, I can't believe they let kids watch. And I'm just like, I couldn't enjoy it. I couldn't fucking enjoy the film. So basically, if I did like a review, Logan had like 1 or 2 good scenes, but otherwise was a bit muh. The characters were a bit fucking whiny. So that was my Saturday. So anyway, so the thing ends, and it's like midnight, because again, this was a 9 o'clock screening. Now, going back to where I said, this is like my old stomping ground. A lot of my friends from school lived in this area, and they work in that area. And I remember I met up with a girl I used to go to school with a few months ago, like 3 or 4 months ago. I randomly met up with this girl, and she was like, oh, do you know our mate Taylor, who was this other girl? There was like a vibe, but like nothing happened. She works in the pub on the corner now. And I'm sort of thinking, you know, Taylor works on the corner. I haven't spoken to Taylor in years. They'll be closing up about now. I'll pop in and he's like, oh, you know, just say sup, because we haven't spoken a lot. I'm just kind of thinking, and again, because I can't enjoy the film because they're just ruining the film for me. The whole time I'm sat watching the film, I'm thinking, no, it should be kind of cool to catch up with Taylor. I haven't spoken to her a while, blah blah. So I wonder what she's up to. So it's one of those things. You know, when you just can't focus on what you're doing, so you just like disappear. So I'm sat in this like sort of fantasy land in my head of like, oh, it'd be kind of cool, and like, I'm imagining how the conversations kind of go because I can't focus on the film because we've got this, you know, whatever. Right? So the film ends. I walk round to the pub and they've got the dude on the door, and I'm like, oh, is Taylor working the bar tonight? He's like, who? I'm like, Taylor. And he looks at me like, skinny bloke. I'm like, no, the girl. And he's like, Taylor. And I'm like, yeah. He goes, I think I know you. Let me check. He goes inside. Now the pub's closed. It's not like I can walk in. Like the pub is closing up. Comes up. Yeah, Taylor's working the bar. I'm like, oh, do you mind if I just come in and chat for a bit while you're closing up? He's like, mate, you know, I'd love to help out, but I can't really let you in while we're closing because we're closed. I'm like, yeah, no, I understand, but I'm a mate. I don't even mind helping pushing some stools away, sort of thing. I'm just trying to like get in at this point. He's like, tell you what, mate, I like you. You seem nice enough. I won't let you in, but I'll let you chill out here with me while you wait for us to close. And I'm like, all right, well, how long is that going to take? For about an hour. I'm like, hang on. So I can't come in and just sort of chill and help a bit, but I can stand outside at midnight talking to you, waiting for my mate to close up. He's like, yeah, it's chill, I don't mind. Quite enjoy the company, actually. And I'm just like, and I definitely can't come in. He's like, no, sorry, mate. So I just fucking left. I just walked off. I'm not going to fucking stand outside a pub for an hour to chat to a doorman to then maybe have a conversation with a girl I used to go to school with. Because if you work a pub shift, when you finally closed up, the last thing you'll do at 1 in the morning is randomly chat to some dude for like 10 minutes while you're trying to work out night transport, right? Because it's just like, no. I don't know what this thing was thinking. I don't know why he didn't just let me like chill, but whatever. I think he was just bored and he wanted someone to chat to, so he's like, no, instead of letting this like conversation happen, I'm just gonna let you hang out. So I'm like, no. So I'm like, you know what, cheers mate, I'll catch you another time. Peace. I walk out. And it's late. There's like, I could have waited until 1 in the morning for the buses to start running again. Or I could have got like a particular train, but I'm like, fuck it, so I just walk. And it's like walking is like a 30-40 minute walk. So it's a 40 minute walk. I quite enjoy walking at night. There's something quite calming, especially if you live in a big city. If it's a safe city, like if the city isn't safe, I don't recommend walking around at night. But you guys know what I mean. Like if you live in a safe city, there's something quite nice about just like going for a walk when it's like late, because everything's quiet, it's closed. You get a lot of foxes in London stuff. I like animals, so it's like it's cool watching all the little, you know, animals doing their thing. Why don't I go back to? Anyway. So it's cool just watching like things do their thing, right? So I walk back, and that was Saturday. And I get back, I'm like, well, it was a bit disappointing. Film was like, didn't really get to enjoy the film, but you know, I got to have a walk, and it was like whatever. Whatever. Now I can't remember if it was at this point. At some point in this weekend, I sent a message on the Good Book, the Facebook, to an ex of mine. Not like, oh, I love you, just like, yeah, what are you up to? Like, we haven't spoken for years. And, Tarke story time. She was obsessed with the Beatles when we were together. And I'd never really listened to the Beatles. And she was so into the Beatles when she was together, she tried to get me to, like, get into the Beatles, right? But I don't like Lennon's voice that much. Like, there's something about his, like, I know they're really good musicians, but I just don't like the sound of his voice. And it was just one thing is like she would try and like force me to like listen to the Beatles, and because she was like so obsessed with it, I like adapted thinking like, you know, I don't like the Beatles. Every now and again I hear a Beatles song, I'm like, actually that's quite good. So there's a film coming out soon, which is the City of Valerian. I'll play the song. And it's got a Beatles song in the trailer, and it's actually a really good song. It's a really good song. I actually got really into it. This song, The Beatles, because Valerian and the City of Thousand Planets. I'm really hyped for this film to come out. Really hyped for this film. And I was watching the trailer. I've watched the trailer a few times, and I was like, no, actually, I really like the song. So I've been sort of listening to the Beatles a little bit, and because I've started like listening to the Beatles a little bit again, I started thinking about this ex, because she was always like trying to get me to listen to the Beatles. So I randomly messaged her like a few days ago. So it's like, oh, what are you up to these days? She was a musician. Or she like, when she was, this is the guy I did when I was like 17 or something. So this was like a long time ago. We're talking like 6-7 years ago. So oh, where have you ended up after uni? We haven't spoken in years. Are you still doing music? And oh, funny enough, I've been sort of getting into the Beatles. Maybe another 7 years, I'll know what you were talking about. We chat for a little bit. So that was Saturday night. I got a reply from her or some shit. I don't know. Or Sunday, anyway. So that was Saturday. At some point over this weekend, I sent a message to an ex. Just like, blah, 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 what are you up to? Sunday comes around. So Sunday is the day that I meet up with Simon. Now, Simon was meant to meet me at a shopping centre near where I live between 11 and 12. Right? And the shopping centre is literally like a 5-minute walk, if that. So I'm thinking, I'm going to meet Simon at 11 or 12. I'm fucking knackered because I'm generally tired from all this walking I've done this weekend. I finished watching the film at like midnight. I walked back to my place, so I didn't get home until like 1. And by the time I went to bed, I didn't go to bed until like 3 in the morning, right? So when I go to set my alarm, I'm thinking, right, I'm not expecting to hear from Simon until about, because he said he would like work out, he'd get it between 11 and 12. So I'm thinking, I can probably wake up at 10, have a bath, have a slow start, get dressed, whatever. And if he's a bit early, like if he's there at like 10:45, I can just stroll down there. But he probably won't be there closer to 12. So I'm thinking, I'll be cool. I'll get to have a bit of a lie-in because I'm feeling pretty worn out. Right? It's been a long weekend. I've done a lot of walking. So I go to bed. And I put my phone on silent. Because I get a lot of, I've been to the hospital recently. And whenever you go to the hospital in the UK, if you ever go to the NHS, they send you like forms to fill in. And there's a weird bug with my phone, I don't know what caused it, but when I get a text, I get the same text like 10 fucking times. And I hadn't had like an automated like, fill in this customer survey form yet. So I'm like, I'll put my phone on silent because they have a habit of like texting me at like 8, 9 in the morning. I don't need to be up till like whenever, so I'll be chilling, right? I'll wake up at 10. So I wake up and it's like 9:30. And you know when you wake up and you know that your alarm isn't going to go off yet, and you're just like, this is beautiful. You know that bliss, that there's a very nice moment where you're like, I can just lie in bed because my alarm isn't going to go off for another like 20, 30 minutes. And I can just like really just like embrace my pillow. Do you know what I mean? Where you just really sort of like snuggle there. And the reason why I could tell the time is my bed is behind my green screen. That's my bed. I have 2 monitors here. On the one monitor, I'll go to sleep watching like a film or something. And on the other monitor, I had a second alarm clock in case my phone didn't work. So I had a second alarm clock on my second monitor and I could see the clock. So I woke up, I didn't look at my phone. I looked at my monitor, saw it was 9:30. I'm like, pog chat. So I'm slowly waking up, I'm aching, I'm feeling kind of rough. I'm like, I woke up feeling really ill actually, but I'm like, it's okay. Because it's only 9:30 and I can just chill. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, I wonder if that girl ever got back to me. So I'm kind of like, I kind of want to wake up to check my Facebook to see if I got a reply. But at the same time, I'm like, I really can't be fucked. I really cannot be fucked. I'm like, so I'm lying there, I'm sitting there for 30 minutes. At this point, it's now like, it's basically 10 o'clock. So I'm like, my alarm's going to go off. Let's lean over. And this is the ultimate satisfaction. So when you wake up before your alarm, you lean over and you turn off your alarm like 30 seconds before. George, this would be 9:30. The 9:30 thing being 8:30, that's a Norwegian Scandinavian thing. That exact thing used to get me in a lot of trouble when I used to date a Norwegian because you always get confused with times. But it was 9:30. I was expecting to wake up at 10 to meet Simon between 11 and 12. So I lean over to turn off my alarm, put my phone in front of me. I have like 3 missed calls and 12 texts. I'm like, uh-oh. I have missed calls from Simon. I have a bunch of texts saying I'll be there in 30 minutes. And I have a text saying I'm here. And because my phone is my phone, I've had that text like 30 times, which makes it even more panic mode. So I've gone from like super relaxed, oh, I wonder if I ever heard back from that girl, to holy shit, Simon's been waiting. Why is he so I'm like, ugh. So I spring out of bed and I'm wobbling. I am like fucking wrecked. And I'm just like, I do not feel well. But at the same time, Simon's been waiting for me at this fucking coffee shop for like 10 minutes already. I'm not even ready. I need to get there. And I'd already kind of cancelled him on the day before. Because again, on Friday, it was meant to be me and Mim chilling. Me and Mim were meant to be meeting Simon on the Saturday. And then the only reason that I was meeting Simon on the Sunday was because I wasn't feeling well on the Saturday. So I'm like, I'm feeling really guilty because I know that he doesn't have much time because he's very busy. He's like here on business. So I'm feeling really bad that, I'm feeling bad that I kind of like flaked on him on the Saturday after our mate was already cancelled. So he's feeling really, like, I'm feeling really bad for him. So I'm just like, you know, fuck it, let's just go, right? So I throw on a shirt, throw on a jacket, whip on a scarf, and trousers. I was fully dressed. I get dressed, and I just like bolt. I'm just like out the door. Haven't had anything to eat. I haven't had a shake. I haven't had a drink. I haven't had anything. I haven't had like. I'm just like I'm out, and I'm pacing, and I'm looking savage the whole time while doing it. Right, looking swag. And the whole time I'm thinking, how old is Simon? And you're thinking, why is that relevant? This is one of those interesting things where when you're in the position I'm in, anyone who's ever like done like a guild meetup or met people you've played with has been in this position. You don't know what the person you're meeting up with looks like. Now, he knows what I look like because he's been watching my stream for years now. I have no idea what Simon is. I don't know what he is. All I know is that he's like, he sounds like he's from somewhere in Scandinavia. He's very together because he's here on business. He's spoken to me about how he's followed the 3D printing market for the last few years. So I'm like, he sounds like a really together businessman. And from the way he talks on Discord, he could be quite old. So I'm like, he's either like a really together like 30-year-old, and I mean like really, really together, or this dude's like 50. And I'm not sure. And the whole time I'm walking down there, I'm feeling bad because I feel bad that I've cancelled on Simon the day before. Mim's cancelled on both of us, and I'm late. So I'm feeling really bad, but I'm also feeling really ill. And I mean, let's take a moment to just appreciate Tarke for a moment. I'm a handsome man. However, I do look diseased. This is after a full day of me chilling. This morning, I look like an extra from The Walking Fucking Dead, right? And I walk into this coffee shop, and I'm scanning the room. And I'm like out of breath, and I'm flummoxed. I'm like a time traveler has just appeared in this coffee shop. Because I'm out of breath, and I'm like looking around. I'm not quite as dramatic, I'm not like, but I'm like, I'm scouting. Everyone in the coffee shop is looking at like, who's this drug addict, mate? And I'm like, he's old. It could be him. It's not that family. It's not that grill. It could be that dude, that dude, and that dude. I'm sort of looking through the glass, because it's like a glass front. I'm sort of outside looking in. And there's this one dude who, like, clocks me. Like, proper clocks me. But he doesn't, like, make the gesture. He doesn't wave. In the situation of any of you guys ever meeting, like, someone who you know what they look, you look like, if you recognize them, you wave at them. What should have happened is I go, like, and someone goes, Tarke, or, like, you make a signal. This dude clocks me, and he doesn't move, but he clocks me, and he's, like, pins. He's, like, his peepers connect with mine. We peep one another. And this dude's looking like 20-odd, and I'm like, that can't be Simon. If that's Simon, then Simon has really got his shit together. There is no way that someone that organised is that young, but he's proper eyeballing me. So it must be him. So I sort of like wave, he pauses, and then he does this. So I'm like, oh, it's Simon, right? But he made it icy as fuck, man. Like, if you guys ever meet someone, they don't know what you like, you look at them. You should be the one to make the symbol. It shouldn't be up to me to be like, you look like a person looking in my direction, maybe because I'm diseased, but hello. So we sit down, we have a thing. I get like a coffee, because I don't normally drink coffee, because coffee and Crohn's isn't a good mix, but I fucking needed a coffee. I really like coffee, but I try not to drink coffee too much.
Go where you
I
are.
get a fucking coffee. And I one-shot that shit, yeah. And I'm like, and I'm slowly starting to feel more and more human. But it takes a fucking long. And when I sat down, he looks at me. And the way he looked at me, he didn't have to say, it didn't say anything. But in that exact moment, I knew that I was forgiven for cancelling the day before. Because he looked at me like, dude, you look like fucking shit. I don't care that you're late. I don't care that you cancelled me yesterday. I'm just surprised you're walking. Like, he looked at me and he's like, you look a bit. And I'm like, yeah, sorry. I was expecting you to be so early. As I'm sipping on my little fucking coffee. And we chill and we chat for a few hours. We chatted. So I got there like maybe 10 past 10. And I was there till like about 1:30. It was good. We just chatted random shit. Mostly complained about Mim. But it was cool. We chatted. Like, it was whatever. So it was cool. Cool guy. Cool guy. Right. Hey, X.
Hey.
And, it's all cool time. So he's like, you know, I've got to go do some business shit. So I'm like, alright. No worries, man. Nice meeting you. Sorry about whatever. I guide him towards the bus stop so he can make it. He had to go to St. Pancras. I guide him onto his next journey. I want to do some shopping at this point. Because there's no food in the house. And the only food Tarke really eats at the moment is eggs. And gluten-free rice and pasta. Because Crohn's. If you don't know me, I'm on a liquid diet. Liquid diets, but I can eat some foods. Right? Some foods. And I didn't have any food. At this point, I feel like I feel slightly less shit because I've had a coffee, but I still haven't eaten anything. And I want like a proper fucking breakfast. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna buy some eggs. I'm gonna buy some cheese. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna have a fuck off toasted egg and cheese sandwich. So I'm gonna have like a cheese toasty with fry eggs. I'm like, fuck it, mate. Big dick. Tarquin wants a sandwich. What I didn't know, because I have very little understanding of, is today is Easter Sunday. Nowhere is open on Easter Sunday aside from coffee shops. So I walk from the coffee shop to the bus place to help Simon out. Back into the shopping centre. I walk to the far end of it where the supermarket is. Supermarket's shut, mate. And I'm like, fuck. Well, there's another supermarket not far. Maybe that's open. That one's also shut. So I'm like, well, there's a small, like, local convenience. Maybe they're open. Walk all the way back to where I first fucking dropped Simon off at the bus stop. That is open. It's packed because it's Easter fucking Sunday. I pick up a few bits, spent ages waiting in queue, eventually get back. I got back to my place, which is like 5 minutes from where I left Simon at 1:30. Probably about 2:30. It's taking like a fucking hour. Again, I still haven't had anything to eat. I get in, and my mum is sat in the kitchen talking to a friend. Now, this is an emotional period, because one of my mum's best childhood friends died the night before. So my mum's feeling a bit emotional, so obviously she's found out one of her friends has died. But this is another bit, right? So let's backtrack. So we're back, it's Saturday night. I've come in, it's like 1 in the morning. My mum is sat in the kitchen table with a very small bottle of Jack Daniels. Kind of like the small like Jack Daniels you get like on an airplane or in like a hotel room, you know? The little ones, little mixers. She doesn't normally drink. I'm like, you're right. She's like, Francesca's there. Oh, fucking hell, what's happened? She says, I don't know. And I'm like, well, how do you know she's dead then? Only one person knows how Francesca died. And that is a bitch called Mighty. Now, Mighty was one of Francesca's friends. But no one actually likes Mighty, because Mighty's a whiny little cunt. But why is this important? Mighty made a Facebook status saying, and I'm ad-libbing, but this was the rough summation, my darling friend, my angel, my twin, my companion, has passed today. I will never be able to forget you. Blah, 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 blah. Say hello to my father for me. Which is, it's sappy bullshit, but it's fair enough. Your friends died. So when she leaves this Facebook status at like 1 in the morning, obviously people are like getting upset. Oh God, Mighty, what happened? The top comment is, what happened? Mighty's response is, she died. Which is great. And people establish that she died from you saying she's dead. But what actually happened? Mighty, I'm not ready to talk about it. Which again, fair enough, it's very emotional. But no one but Mighty knows how Francesca has died. No one knows. And there are a lot of people commenting, like, you know, my auntie, blah, 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 this, but like, you know. But people are kind of like, but dude, and my mum is pissed the fuck off. My mum is like, I'm really fucking pissed off with her. I'm like, well, yeah, I can understand that. And I was like, is there anyone you could ask? She's like, I've spoken to the brother. The brother doesn't know. This person doesn't know. And again, it's like 1 in the morning. You're not going to start like waking people up to be like you're not going to ring up the family to wake up and say, oh, excuse me, how did your daughter die? I know you're trying to sleep, but like you're not going to do that, right? So when I come in at like 1 in the morning, I've sat and had a conversation with my mum for a bit. So anyway, I come back in Sunday. So we're back to Sunday. I've done my shop. I've come in. It's 2:30. My mum sat there. She's with her friend, and I haven't seen the friend for a while. And the friend's recently just had a bit of a messy breakup with her ex. So I get in. There's the catch up, and it's all. I'm stepping on eggshells. I'm tired. I'm on the fuck out, and I just want to fry up some eggs. But at the same time, I'm like, this is a very emotional situation you've walked into, Tarkman. Because on the one hand, we have one woman who's upset that her relationship's gone south, and on Easter Sunday, instead of being with family or whatever, she's with a friend, and the friend, my mum, is upset because one of her best childhood friends has died, and she still doesn't know. Right? The next day, the bitch who announced on Facebook still isn't ready to talk about it. I spoke to my mum a few hours ago. Mum still doesn't know. It's been like 24 hours, and still no one knows. So she's fuming. So it's like, at this point, I'm doing the pleasantries, I'm chatting. And while this is going on, I check my laptop, and I've gotten a reply from the guy message. I'm like, ooh. So I kind of want to, like, piss off and have a chat. Because, you know, it's what I'm going to blow my nose 1 second. 1 second.
That was beautiful.
Back. Sorry, guys. I just realised that I didn't actually mute Discord. So while I was snotting, X got to enjoy that. But anyway, so we're back in the room. So I'm now downstairs with two quite emotional women in their 50s. And it's kind of alright. We're talking about stuff. And it's kind of like, on the one hand, I want to do a fry up. And on the other hand, I kind of want to just like go upstairs and talk to the scrum. So this is the situation I'm in. So I'm like, I'll just put on a piece of toast. And that will have to do. If I had 2 pieces of toast, I sit politely, I chat for another like 20 minutes, I then go upstairs, and I start chatting. And it's like, whatever. And, well, like, it's the usual shit, like, if you haven't spoken to someone in a long time, it's like, what are you up to these days, blah, 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 start chatting, blah, blah, blah. I need to put something new on. And she's like, oh, where are you living now? And I'm like, oh, I'm back home, you know, at my mum's. I've been here for like a year. I can't afford like the rent in London, but it's good enough that, you know, it allows me to stream on YouTube full time. She's like, oh, I thought you had a place, I thought you were staying with your girlfriend. I'm like, oh, no. We broke up like 6 months ago or something. Her reply, oh, we should get a drink sometime, and you can tell me all about it, right? Right. So I'm like, okay. And again, my entire weekend thus far has kind of been a series of disappointments. It's been a bit of, like, meeting up with Simon was cool, and hanging out with Simon for hours, that was actually really cool. But when I had like a whole weekend of activities planned, it's kind of like, you know, actually, Tarke, you still feel like shit. You still haven't had a proper meal. But fuck it. Yeah, why not? So I'm like, yeah, sure, where are you up to? She's like, oh, you know, I'm actually in the area because it's my mum's birthday, so I've been staying back at home. But she lives on like the other side of London. She's staying in some like trendy place on the other side of London, and it's like 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours to get there. And it's like it's like aggro. And she's like, oh, do you want to go get a drink down in like Shoreditch or some shit? It's a place in London. And I'm looking at it. I get my TFL journey planner out. I'm looking at it. I'm like, oof, that's a lot of. It's a lot of exchanges. What didn't help? What didn't help is there was like construction work. Like there was work on, so the route was delayed. What was already a bit of a messy route. I'm like, this is a lot of it. I'm like, well, since you're down this end, does it maybe make more sense to me up on this end? And then, you know, I don't mind traveling and do something in the middle. She was like, yeah, sure, whatever. So I'm like, ooh. Cool. I'm actually like looking forward to the weekend again because it's like actually this is the thing. This could be fun. But granted, I feel like shit, and I look like shit. So I'm like, I'm gonna have a bath. So I have a bath. I didn't drown. The bath was uneventful. It was like a large, warm. Imagine a bowl of water, a large like tub, if you will, of water. I went into the tub. I relaxed. I got out of the tub. No eventful. There's no reason to make a story out of the tub. The tub was rather boring. It was a bath. So I had a bath. All normal. Get ready, get dressed. Again, I'm looking on point. I'm still looking like a strung out junkie. But to be fair, back when we dated was when I was in my like Noel Fielding phase. I'm like, if anything, the fact that I look like an addict is probably working in my favor at this point. So this is probably going to be alright. So I'm looking on peak. I look like a vampire dropout from, you know, insert teenage romance thing here. But I'm looking suave. I still feel really fucking ill. So we meet up. And this annoyed me a little bit. It was fine, but it did annoy me a little bit. She said, I'll be at the place between 5... Okay, no, it's a bit of backstory. So when we're trying to work out where to eat, I said, well, how about this? Since you're down my end, how about we meet up near me and you can take us somewhere which is sort of cool, which is a bit closer to your end. And it's kind of like, we'll meet up over here, you'll take us somewhere, right? So I'm expecting her to be like, we're going to go to this cool, trendy place because she's cool. She's like cool. She's a musician. She's cool. So I'm expecting like, we'll meet up, Tarke's old stomping ground, go somewhere cool. She's like, meet me at the station, probably between about 5:30 and 6. Cool. So I'm like, all right, cool. Here's my number. Here are my digits. If anything happens, you've got my number. We're chilling. About 10 minutes later, fuck, I'm gonna be early. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll leave now. So I leave now. I get there at like 10 to 5. She got there at 5:30. And it was cold. And it was spitting a little bit. And I'm just like... So I could have left when I didn't say anything because I'm not a cunt. But I'm just like, whatever. Maybe it wasn't 5:30, but it was like... By the time she got there, it was pretty close to the time that we were originally planning on meeting anyway, you know? So I was kind of like, whatever. So me and it's actually really chill. And like, there isn't really that much to say about that. It was like, it was chill. We're chatting, it's all fine. It's all kind of fine. And we didn't really hang out that long. It was like maybe... It actually really wasn't long. It was like maybe like an hour, 2 hours tops. Because we met up at like 5:20. And we like left at like 7. So it wasn't like a very long, like, whatever. But it was already, it went to a bad start. And I'll explain why. Now again, I can't really eat and or drink because I am a walking disease. And if you don't know, if you're new to stream, I have Crohn's. I'm on very heavy medication at the moment. Very strict diet. Can't really eat, can't really drink. What I can drink, and what has been recommended to, because I've spoken to doctors like, because obviously when I go out and drink, I want to be able to drink something. Normally I would just drink wine, because beer isn't very good for me because it's carbonated. Carbonation is really bad with Crohn's. I like beer, but I can't drink it. So normally I just drink wine. But even wine doesn't sit on me too well. And the problem is when you start drinking, you then start mixing. So what often happens is like I'll start on wine. I'll do like a bottle of wine and then I start drinking beers. Anyway. So last time I spoke to the doctor, they're like, the thing you can drink is you can drink clear spirits. And that you'll be alright on it. Right? So I'm like, okay. So I get there and I'm kind of like, what do I do at this point? Because she's expecting me to order a pint. Like, this is someone I haven't spoken to in like 6 years. I think we'd spoken briefly once when I was at uni. I think we'd spoken briefly once, and she was vaguely aware that I was ill, but she didn't have like any idea to what severity. She definitely didn't know I was on any like weird diets or anything. So I'm kind of like, how am I gonna play this off? Because I don't want to, like, again, it's like 5 o'clock, right? 5 p.m. And I don't really want to start hitting straight like vodka or tequila at 5 p.m. Right? Because again, it's a thing. You can't really sip it. You can't be like, oh, I'll have like a shot of vodka. You can't just sit there and sip it while someone's having like a pint, you know. So you're not just gonna sit there and slam. And I'm thinking like, well, I guess I could have like a whiskey or something. But the problem with whiskey is whiskey's a drink you need to learn whiskey. It's like the first time you ever drink whiskey, it's horrible. It's a drink you need to like learn to appreciate. And I'm still like, I'm on the stepping curves of whiskey. I can enjoy whiskey if I've already had a drink. Do you know what I mean? Like if I'm already kind of pissed and someone gives me a whiskey, I can drink it. If I had anything to drink and you hand me a whiskey, I'm like, oh. So I don't want to like order a whiskey and then be spluttering. So that'd be embarrassing. And I don't really want to go heavy on the vodka. And I'm like, oh, so she's like, oh, because I think she could tell that I was like thinking. I think she could tell that I was thinking. She's like, oh, I'm not sure what I'm going to have. She says, I think I'm going to have an ale. What are you going to have? And I'm like, well, actually, I can't really drink. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, you know, I mean, I can do shots, but I think I'll just have a water. So I ordered a water, right? And again, this is like some trendy, like she's a musician, like she's cool, right? When we first met, I was like rocking that Sid Vicious vibe. Like most of the time I was in college, I was off my face on tramadol, right? So like, I was the cool, edgy, like, bad boyfriend. You may not think it now, but I was like the disappointing, like, rebel phase for her. Oh god, I'm dead. Anyway, so I was like the disappointing, like, rebel phase. And I'm like, I'll just... So I ordered a water. And, I don't even know what killed me. Anyway, we'll get into that later. So, I'm like, yeah, like, I can't really drink. I can drink shots, but it's a bit too early. It's a bit too early for shots. So I'll probably have something for my second drink. But right now I'm feeling a bit. She's like, whatever. She knows that. So we sit down, we're chatting a bit. And I'm still fucking exhausted. I'm still like really fucking exhausted because I've had a really long weekend. I haven't slept. I haven't really had anything to eat. And I'm sat there sipping my water while she's having I think she had an ale or whatever. She's sat there having an ale. And I do the thing that I always do. And people who know me are used to it. And she must be used to it because we dated for like 2.5 years. But I can actually be quite quiet. You guys aren't used to it because my stream is just me talking random bullshit. But I can actually be quite sort of like, I'm just going to sit and let you talk. I'll just sit and let you sort of do your thing. And I'm just sort of letting her talk. She was fucking talking. I think she was a bit nervous. Obviously, it was like a situation of like, you know, I was like her first proper boyfriend. We were together for a few years. We had a bit of a messy breakup. Like we hadn't seen each other in a while. So it was like, it was going to be a little bit awkward, right? So we're sort of like chatting. It's all fine. It's all pleasant. But I'm kind of like not incredibly... I don't seem very engaged, I think is what happened. It's like I was engaged and I was like into the conversation, but I don't think I seemed very engaged. And I think that's where there was an issue as I'm sipping on my water. So she finishes her drink. And at this point I've realized, Tarke, you've kind of gone wrong here. Let's remedy the situation. Let's get a drink. So I'm like, hey, sorry, can I get you a drink? I think I'm going to get something. She's like, you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'll be alright. She's like, alright, I'm just going to go to the loo first. So she goes to the loo. She comes back. I'm like, alright, can I get you a drink? She's like, actually, I'm just gonna have a cigarette. So we go outside. She has a cigarette. And we're chatting. She finishes the cigarette. And she's like, actually, I think I need to go. And I'm just like, alright. And I'm just like, oh, you fucked that one up, mate. And I'm like, this is beyond. Hang on, I'm gonna turn the talking heads on. I'm gonna put an OST on because I feel like this is like, I feel like this is YouTube worthy. This is a story time fucking thing right here. So I'm kind of like, all right. So I'm like, shit, we done goofed. But to be fair, the whole time it was going pretty pleasant, and she was saying, oh, we should meet up again. And I'm kind of like, really? Like, you're randomly like fucking off before we get a drink in. A second drink. Well, my first, her second. But you're like, we should sign again. So I'm kind of like, oh, whatever. Like, whatever. So, we end up on the same train. Right? So we're chatting on the train. And while we were talking, my cat came up. Because, you know, I have a fucking cat. I'm called Tarke cat. I'm a bit of a cat guy. If I have a cat, I'm going to talk about a cat, right? Right. And chat, I want your opinion on something she said, because this seems like a very odd. And you know what I've realised? I've told her I do YouTube, so if you're in chat right now, just ignore it. Anyway, so, and if you watch this VOD on YouTube, ignore it. So she says. And she said it quite quickly. So I might have misheard. But I'm pretty sure this is what she said. She said, you know what? I'd probably fuck you just so I can hang out with a cat. Right? 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 And I'm like, I didn't really know how to reply to this. And I was like, oh, come on. I've got to be worth more than just, like, a cat. Like, I was mildly offended. I was kind of like, dude, like, I'm worth it just for me. Like, you don't need the cat there. Like, I made a joke out of it, right? Right? It's like, it was whatever. So then it's like, da-da-da-da-da. My stop is, like, the next one, right? And, I'm like, you know, whatever, you know, meet up again. She's like, yeah, you should come down to my end. She's off to whatever. I'm like, cool, just like let me know when you're free, because obviously your schedule's harder to work than mine, right? Because whatever, right? So I get off the train, and I'm kind of like, well, that was weird, because on the one hand, right, we met her, and she instigated the meet. Not me, she instigated the meet. We meet her, she bailed, and I don't know, because she could have bailed for reasons, and you know, if you're watching this, Katie, then, like, don't read into anything. I'm just telling a story to chat. This is just funny, but whatever, right? Funny story. So she could have bailed for so many reasons. Like, she could have bailed because, like, nah, this is weird, right? Like, this is weird, whatever. Or, like, he's boring, or, like, I've actually got shit to do, but, like, whatever, right? But then it's a weird thing to then make that joke after you bail. Unless it was, like, a nervous joke or some shit, I don't fucking know. But whatever, right? So I get in, I'm just like, blah, 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 blah. And that's, like, that's been my weekend. That has been my weekend. It's just, like, a bit of a weird weekend, I feel. So that's what I've been up to, and we're gonna watch what I ripped to. Did I just say like a big daddy slam? I wasn't really paying attention. I was in the middle of a story. I just got smacked. So let's see what happened there. So like, I was the cool, edgy, like, bad boyfriend. You may not think it now, but I was like the disappointing, like, rebel phase for her. Oh god, I'm dead. Anyway, so I was like the disappointing, like, rebel phase.
Your opener next time is, what, do you want to come and see my cat?
And I'm like, I'll just so out of the water. So like, I was the cool, edgy, like, bad boyfriend.
Yeah, I just got hit. I just took
but
hits.
I was like the disappointing, like, rebel phase for her. Oh god, I'm dead. Anyway, so yeah, that whole